What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and it is that time of the year again. It's the January transfer window. Fabrizio Romero says that Spurs are going to be active, they're going to be busy, and Paul O'Keefe has given us a number of positions that Spurs are going to be looking to strengthen in this January transfer window. So we're going to bring you a series of videos now, going position by position, and we're going to be picking out 5 players who we think Spurs could and should be targeting in this January transfer window, or even in the summer for the positions that we need to be strengthening for as well. And starting off with the goalkeeper, and the first player we're going to be looking at is Xan Garcia of Espanyol. Transfer market value him at 10 million euros, 23 years of age. He is a player that Spurs have been linked with over the last summer. Obviously, he was linked with Arsenal quite heavily as well. Neither obviously got the deal over the line. He has been number 1 for Espanyol in this current season. But what can you tell me? Does he suit what we need?
Looking at the some of the data, so we got some charts looking at some of his stats over the last season, or this season, sorry. As you say, he plays for a team near the bottom, so obviously he does face a lot of shots, and he has to make a lot of saves. It does say here save percentage isn't great, but you look at his, in terms of the saves he's expected to make, it's pretty strong. So also, especially from penalties, he seems to be a pretty good penalty saver. His post-shot XG, shot on target and against, are really strong. So looks like he makes a lot of saves you don't expect him to make, which is good. Crosses stopped as well. That's really impressive. So 90th percentile. So he's very good at coming for crosses. But distribution, bit mixed. It looks like he is used to playing his goal kicks a bit shorter, which is fine. His pass completion rate is not the greatest though. But is that because when he's launching it or when he passes it, you know, is it to do with his teammates or it's to do with him? It's unclear. But clearly, when it comes to a keeper who's coming for crosses and a good shot stopper, he's definitely that. I guess from playing out the back, it just remains to be seen. Get more to do with, I think, who he plays for, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because quite some big teams have been linked with him and are clearly interested in him at 23 years of age, and already being a number 1 at a La Liga team. Surely he's got a big future ahead of him.
Definitely. And he seems to be doing well. As you say, a lot of people talking about him. Definitely as competition for Vicario. I think we're looking for a long-term competitor. I think he could definitely be in line with that.
Next up, so that's Xan Garcia. Next up, we're going to be looking at Anthony Patterson of Sunderland, who's making waves in the Championship this year. Obviously, Sunderland having a very strong season so far. 24 years of age, 12 million euros market value. He's someone that is considered to be really making his name right now in a Sunderland shirt. And yeah, I'm quite interested by this guy. He's obviously been linked to Spurs as well in the last month or so.
Yeah, obviously playing in the Championship, Sunderland having a really good season at the moment. The stats at the moment, his save percentage is strong, but when you look at the underlying stats, his post-shot XG to shot on target, which basically means, given the shots he's faced, how much do you expect him to save? It's actually not great. So a lot of the saves he does make are the ones you expect him to save, and he's not great at making maybe saves you don't expect him to save. Cross-stopping is above average, so he's not bad at it. Distribution, again, not particularly impressive, it says here, in terms of passes completed. Although passes completed is decent, but in terms of how amount he does is not particularly great. So maybe this is one who looks like he's actually passing not bad, but I guess there's question marks about how good his shot stopping is when it comes to that elite ability.
And at 24 years of age, he's one of not the oldest, but one of the older players on this list. Do you feel like we should be going for a keeper of that kind of age? You know, when you're a keeper, you are coming into your prime in your latter stages of your 20s. With the likes of Keeley and Gunter coming through, with Forster obviously going to be leaving at the end of the season and Vicario there, what kind of keeper do you think we should be signing?
I think I wouldn't even mind a more experienced one, like someone maybe not as experienced as Forster. I think he's probably a bit over the hill right now, but even someone who's like 32, 33, someone of that age, I wouldn't mind. But given that with Keeley and Gunter, they're 2 very young and exciting goalkeepers, they are very young still. We don't know when they're going to be ready for, and we can't kind of rely on them just yet, I don't think. Although Keely's doing very well in League One, so I wouldn't mind a youngish keeper. I don't want to go as a keeper the same age as Keely, but maybe someone who's like 23, 24, who's young but can also play competition right now and ready to fill in for Vicario. I wouldn't mind that as well. So yeah, I don't think it matters too much as long as they're not too young or too old, essentially.
Because do you not feel like if you're like 24, 25 plus, you probably want to be starting week in, week out. Whereas if you're like at either ends of your career, you could probably settle for, you know, a sub in the league and then starting in the cup games.
If you're, depends if you're ready to step in. If you're at either ends of your career, yeah, but clearly we've got someone at the wrong end of his career, and it's not, and it's doesn't hold. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, not that far in. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, but what I'm saying is like the ages between like 24 and maybe 30, you probably assume if you're good enough, you want to be starting week in, week out, don't you?
Yeah, but I wouldn't even mind if but it's not week in, week out. Like they're going to be starting most European games, aren't they? If I want someone to come in, and we have no problem resting or taking Vicario out of the team for, whether it keeps competition for Vicario or it means we're just natural rotation. He plays Europe and Vicario plays Prem, and just have it like that. And I want someone to be a good level there. And could Keely do that role right now? I don't know at his age. He's forced to do that role. I mean, he's done okay, but I'd rather someone better than him. So that's why I want someone ready. I
mean, like Keely will be 22 by next season, you know? He's not exactly a teenager, but he is getting to that age, isn't he?
22 is still quite young for a keeper.
So, I mean, some of the keepers, I mean, Xan Garcia's what, 20, 21, 22, 23. So, I mean, it's not that...
A bit more experienced.
Not that much different.
Yeah, but he's playing La Liga, he's playing top-level football. Keely's only played League One, and he's played before that National League. Look, Keely's clearly a very talented keeper, but unless we really believe next season he's ready to fill in that role, I would want someone right now to come in. Can Keely come in next season and play European games? I don't know.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to talk about Alex Romero of Real Sociedad. He probably is the highest quality player goalkeeper on this list. He was in the Spanish squad in the Euros, so he's already got that behind his belt. He's been a starting keeper for Real Sociedad for many years now. 25 million is his market value on transfer market, 29 years of age. It's going to be one hell of a big sell to try and get him through the door at Tottenham. But he is a keeper that has been linked with us over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I doubt it happens because he clearly would want to be number one in the league ahead of like Vicario, especially that age, and especially as he's number one at a good club like Sociedad in Spain. So it's going to be a tough sell. In terms of how he looks in the stats, pretty good, very good passing, so clearly quite good with the ball at his feet. Not very good at crosses, though. So it looks like he's not great at coming for crosses. Save percentage extremely high. Post-shot XG on shots on target is not good, but post-shot against goals against is good. So a bit of a differential in the stats in terms of he doesn't make a lot. There's a lot of saves that you expect him to make given the shots on target, but he does save a lot of goals you expect him to make given the goals against. So I think it's still pretty strong. Yeah, he doesn't launch a lot of his goal kicks. So again, it looks like he's used to playing it short. So I think he's definitely someone who seems like he could fit the bill.
Yeah, if we can get him through the door, that's the main thing.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to sign him in January. I don't. Why would he leave Sociedad in January to come to Tottenham when he's number one there? It wouldn't make sense.
Next up is Sam Johnstone, 31 years of age, 8 million market value. Currently at Wolves. He's been a bit of a journeyman, though, hasn't he? He's been at West Brom. He's been at Aston Villa. Has he been at Aston Villa?
Aston Villa, yeah.
And Wolves and Crystal Palace. I mean, he's been at so many different clubs. Never really found a home. I don't think he's...
He was in England squad once when he was at West Brom, I think.
Yeah. I don't think he's a great keeper by any stretch of the imagination, but as a kind of filler from now until the end of the season, I do believe he's better than Fraser Forster. And we don't know what the thinking is with Josh Keely, but if they do feel like Josh Keely can come in and do a job next season, I would very much look at Sam Johnstone for a 6-month loan deal to ease the burden of Fraser Forster and then bring in Keely next summer.
Yeah, I mean, Johnstone is a keeper who's done well previously in the Premier League. I don't think he's a right fit for us at all, really, when it comes to his ability. He launches a lot. Look at the stats. He's very much used to launching a lot of his goal kicks. He plays it long, a lot more than playing it short.
Yeah, you look at the clubs he's played for, though, as well.
Yeah, I know, but that's obviously what he's used to. and that shows in the stats. He's pretty good at coming for crosses, which is good, and his actually pass completion from his long goal kicks is good as well, so that's positive. However, his shot stopping's pretty horrific. Save percentage in the 6th percentile. His post-shot XG against goals against is in the 6th percentile, which means he lets in a lot of goals you expect him to save. So, yeah, his shot stopping is not great, and I don't even know if that's an improvement on Forster, looking at what I'm seeing. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's even worth bringing. I'll probably rather stick with Forster than bring him on a 6-month loan. Yeah, probably. I mean, what's the point of spending the money unless you're saying bringing us back up to Forster or having? Yeah, I mean, basically, could he be a bit of an improvement potentially? But I don't think it's a transfer that changes much.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, Wolves fans just don't understand why they signed him in the first place. They're looking to offload him this January. I guess it does say a lot when you've got clubs like... But I guess they need to raise money as well because they haven't been doing well in the FSP.
They signed him in the summer, didn't they?
Yeah. So, I mean, if Wolves are so desperate to get rid of him, I guess that probably does tell you everything you need. But on the face of things, seeing as he's been a competent Premier League keeper in the past, I would have just taken him for 6 months. But now looking at those stats, I never saw those stats before. I might decide against it. But... yeah, we'll see. James Trafford next, 22 years of age, 18 million market value at Burnley at the moment. Had a hard season in the Premier League last year at the age of 21, which, you do expect from a 21-year-old goalkeeper. But he is a goalkeeper who I do think has high potential, and he's a goalkeeper who's probably had the most serious links to Spurs out of all these.
Yeah, and... look, he's actually probably a similar age to like Josh Keeley. However, he's had a lot more experience. Obviously, he's played a few seasons in the Championship. He had one Premier League season as well. So this is a keeper that comes behind him with a bit more experience at this level. He did last season, I think, probably a bit out of his depth in the Premier League. He had some good games though, and he showed potential, I would say. But I think he was clear he wasn't quite ready for the Premier League just yet. It was maybe a bit too soon for him. Albeit, I think he showed he has potential to play at that level, had some good games. The stats here, they show good set. This season in the Championship, though, he's having a good season. It's good save percentage. The post-shot XG against goals against is really good. He comes for crosses. That was a big problem for me last season. He was not good at crosses at all. This season, the Championship, it looks like he's above average, but still pretty average when it comes to stopping crosses in the Championship. I think that's still something he needs to work on. What's quite good is defensive actions outside the penalty area is really high. So that shows he's good at sweeping, and that's something definitely we need. So, look, he's still a young keeper, so clearly he's improving, and maybe in a few years he'll become a real keeper who's really good at this level. I think still at the moment, he's still more potential than actual reality, I think, at the moment, Trafford. But, could you be buying into that potential? But then again, we have keepers who are similar age to him, also high potential. So depends if we believe he's much better than them. Well, he might be, because he's got that experience.
Yeah, so I guess those are the 5 keepers that we've looked at, that we're going to look at in this video. I firmly believe that Josh Keeley should be getting a pathway into the first team squad. I know National League last season, done well. This year he's doing even better at League One level, so it's actually 2 steps above. And, he is, if you want to read the reports and everything, one of the better keepers in League One, and at the age and scored a goal. 7 clean sheets in a row. That
I watched him at Barnet, by the way, last year, and he's very, very confident on the ball. He's like when he takes the ball, he looks like he's an outfield player.
That's what I'm saying. I know, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I really believe in Josh Keeley, and in the Irish setup, in the Irish camp as well. They really believe him, and they think he's going to be, the long-term answer for their goalkeeping future for the national team. So I really believe in Josh Keeley, and this year has even backed up my beliefs even more, what he's doing at Leyton Orient, and I feel like he can come in and do a job. I really believe that. So look, it's a massive step up. It really is a massive step up, going from the National League to League One and then to European football, whether it be, we don't even know if we've got European football for next season.
Yeah.
That's the reality. So you might be just limited to cup games if we're not in Europe next season. So I think that we should only be signing like a short-term target, whether it be from now until the end of the season, try and get someone in on loan, and then bring through Josh Keeley for next season.
I think I wouldn't mind having a ready-made one, get Keeley on loan next season, and then having a ready-made keeper who can come in Europe and come in and battle with Vicario, and then see where we're at with Josh Keeley. If he really impresses, and maybe consider selling one of those keepers, or I think we'll send him out on maybe even a Premier League loan. But the reality is, Keely could be ready for the summer, but he also could be 2 years away. That's also the reality as well. So we're not quite sure yet whether he's ready. I guess it's on the coaching staff and the staff to decide when they look at him, is he ready to contribute straight away? He's looking good right now in League One. For a young keeper, it's very, very impressive. But, there are still many levels between that and, where we need him to be ready to contribute. So I think probably another loan deal for me for Keely next season.
All right, well, there you have it. That is the goalkeeper transfer target list. Let us know in the comment section below, where do you think we should go? Which direction do you think we should go with the goalkeepers in this January transfer window?
So who'd be your number one on that list then?
My number one on that list, probably, if I'm not taking Josh Keely into account, probably someone like James Trafford. And also something that I didn't mention with Josh Keely as well, which will be massive for us if we are in Europe, is the homegrown status.
Yeah, true.
The club trained status,
which we definitely need. I think Xan Garcia, I think looking at the stats probably...
I mean, Alex Romero would be my number one, but I do think it's unrealistic.
Yeah, I don't think we need to sign Sociedad. I think Xan Garcia looks like a really good option, good at crosses, decent with the ball at his feet, good shot stopping. So I think he would probably be my number one.
All right, well, let us know yours in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you